Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to make this pumpkin. It's a small pumpkin, fits on your hand just right, and I'm sure it's going to be a great addition to your Thanksgiving decorations. So go ahead and give this a try. I'm sure you're going to have fun. For this project here, you need 3 colors of orange, brown, and green. And the yarn I use is Red Heart Super Saver, which is a worsted weight yarn. And in the back, you will see it's a number 4. So make sure that's the size of yarn you are getting. Also, you will need a 5mm crochet hook. And as for every crochet project, you do need a needle with a dull point and a very big eye for you to be able to weave in the ends, and then of course scissors. In particular to this project here, you will need some fiber fill, which is this cloudy, fluffy stuff to put inside the pumpkin so that your pumpkin stays nice and shaped. So I hope you enjoy making this project here. As I mentioned before, it is short, small, it will be done in a jiffy, so courage, you can definitely do this. So leave a comment, please. I'd like to know your thoughts on this. Also, please like this video and go for it. Subscribe to this channel. I do post projects often, and I like to post them in a way that you can follow along and make them as well. So thank you so much for watching, and happy Thanksgiving. Take care. Chain 32. All right, so on this one here, we are going to be joining the end of your foundation chain to the beginning of the foundation chain to make a nice big ring. So for that, you simply will use the slip stitch. Now you need to pay attention here that your foundation chain has 2 sides. It has the bright side, which looks nice and braidy, and it has a wrong side that seems to have like a bump running right in the middle of the chain, right? So we like the right side, which is the one that looks like a braid, always towards the outside of the ring. So you have to be careful that when you join them, that the right side is facing the outside of the ring, and the right side should be joining the other side right here at the top. That's when you insert the hook, and I grab my yarn around my fingers and I do the slip stitch right there. See? So this forms a ring, and here you have the nice braids towards the outside of the ring. So row 1, you must always chain 3 first, because we are going to be working with double crochet on this one here. So we must chain 3 first, and these chain 3 will always count as a double crochet. It's one of those double crochet in disguise, okay? Now the next chain for you to insert your next double crochet is not this one here. This is where your chain 3 came from. It would be right there. All right, so here we go. Do your double crochet right into it and move along until you get all around the ring, and this is where you will stop again, and this is where I'm gonna meet you, because I think this is your work and you take it at your speed. All right, so here we go. I am at the end of the row, and here you need to be careful because it looks like there is 2 more stitches, chains for you to work on, but actually this one here is where you join and the chain 3 came from. So this is not another chain, so forget about that one. The last one is right here, okay? So do another double crochet there, and there we go. So you need to have the same amount of double crochets throughout the entire round, every single round. So let's count how many we have. This one, remember, is a double crochet in disguise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. 32 double crochets. Okay, so for us to join this one here, you need to watch where was the top chain from the very first chain 3. So that was the first one, second, and the third. That's where you join, not from the bottom usually, right here from the top, insert, and do a slip stitch. Cool. So we round 2, chain 3, and double crochet all around. Not there, but there. It kind of literally looks on top of the double crochet that was below. All right. So here we go again, all around. So I will speed this up and meet you at the end of the row and do the joining one more time, and then we meet at the very end of this cylinder we're making. So here we go. Now we need to count our stitches. 1, 2, 3. 32 double crochets. Okay, again, remember that one just is so tempting to do another stitch right there, but you don't have to. Don't worry about it. Because you need to have 32. If you do it now, you're gonna have 33, and then suddenly, if you do that in every row, suddenly your thing is gonna be growing like this. That's not what we want right now. Okay, so join again with a slip stitch to the top, and row 2 is done. There we go. See, when you join it, it looks nice and snug. Maybe that opening is slightly bigger than the others, but that's not noticeable really. Okay, all right, so from row 3 on, proceed on your own. It's the same thing. 1, 2, 3, and double crochet all around, and always 32 double crochets at the end. I like you to have 7 rows, and that's where we will meet again. Okay, thank you, and see you in a little while. All right, so here I have 7 rows completed, and I'm going to join this to the top of the chain 3, and I'm going to join it with another color because I want to do the 8th row in brown. So I do bring my hook into that loop, but instead of pulling through the orange, I will pull through the brown. There it is, and then close it tight. All right, and from here we chain 3, and I do 1 more row in this color. I meet you at the end of the row. Row 8 is now completed. For this one here, for this part of this project, I simply close it up with a slip stitch. I join the round with a slip stitch, and I cut my yarn. Now here we will need this yarn here nice and big, so leave a good foot, all right, because it's necessary for what we're gonna do later. Close it up. All right, so the cylinder part for your pumpkin is finished. The next part of doing the pumpkin would be the curlicues. So right here, I'm not going to show you how to do the curlicue. You have to go to the video called How to Do a Curlicue. In that video, I have a curlicue of 12 chains. Make sure that you make a curlicue of 20 chains. And once you watch the video, it will make sense what I'm talking about. Okay, so go ahead and watch the tutorial on how to make a curlicue and make 3. Here they are. And that's what you need for the pumpkin. So right now I need to show you how to make the stem for the pumpkin. So what you need to do first is chain 5. Make the knot. So that's 1 chain, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this one here, you need to just pay attention where you insert the hook all the way around and around, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to be doing single crochets around and around and around. There isn't really a row here, okay, until it measures about almost 2 inches, and that's where you stop. So first thing you do, you join to the first single crochet, pardon me, to the first chain you did, and you join with a slip stitch like that. From there on, you're going to see very clearly the loops that were formed by your stitches. And that's where I want you to insert the hook. Pretty much the top loop, and do a single crochet. and then go to the next one. Top loop, single crochet, and so on and so forth. So you don't need to really worry here too much about how many single crochets in each round. It doesn't matter. What you have to do, you just have to go from one stitch to the other and keep going around and around. All right, so pretty much that's it. It can be a little sneaky because here, this is where you just inserted it. So you need to be careful. You don't want to go there again. So now you go to the next one. So wherever you see this big loop here forming, okay, that's the one I used. So there it is. That's where your single crochet goes. And it's kind of closing up on you, almost making a button. Oops. Right? So look at that. So it looks like this tiny little blob. It looks a little blobbish, yes. But don't worry, as you go around and around and around, it's gonna grow and grow longer, and it's gonna make it's gonna be exactly like we want it to be for a stem. All right. And yes, the longer it grows, the harder it might be to actually find your stitches. So just wriggle around them. It's always the next loop right there. And there we go. It's becoming more than just a blob. Yeah, all right. So that's what it is. Super simple to make this stem. So I'm not sure how many rows or whatever it is that I did here. I'm going around and around many times because it doesn't matter how many rows. You just have to measure the stem. Once it is 2 inches long, that's when it's good enough. Neat, huh? So let's see how long this is. Now, it's about, yeah, it's about 2 inches. So I like it that way. I'm good with that. So then on the next one, you simply slip stitch and finish it up. Slip stitch here, yeah. Then you cut and pull through. All right, good. Now you know that this kind of made a tube, correct? So we want to close these ends, especially the end that will stick to the top, that will look out towards from the top of the pumpkin. So what you do, you take a needle. So it doesn't matter really which side you pick. And what you do, you kind of go around. See, there's your center. So you go around each loop. There we go. Okay, and then pull tight. See, and it closes it up. All right, and then bring the needle in the center of the loop and find it on the other side. There we go. There is your stem. Good. Now these ones here, don't worry about them because we will need that to attach this to the pumpkin. Beautiful. All right. All right. So let's proceed in shaping and building our pumpkin. So first thing, you take the top where you have the brown, and we want to shape this into a ball. And by the way, my orange is still attached here, so go ahead and snip it because we don't need it anymore. So you need your needle for sure, and tuck the orange in. You may, yes, go ahead and do close this up here. Make a knot between these two ends here in the inside. And don't worry about weaving them in because they're gonna stay on the inside of the pumpkin. Nobody is ever gonna see that. So just cut them short like that. There we go. Okay. You brought your yarn into the needle. So you simply have to bring this yarn through the entire circle. And what I do, I simply go right here in the top where I see my chains, and I go in and out the next one. In and out the next one. Okay, in and out the next one. And you do that all around. I'll meet you at the end. I'll speed up here a little bit. There it is. So technically what you do, you pull the string and ta-da! We closed the top. Of course, it's opening itself again because I haven't tied it yet. I don't want it completely shut for now because I still need to attach the stem and the curlicues to it. So this is a little bit of a tricky part. So be patient, and you have to just kind of wriggle things around and turn this upside down as well. First thing, bring each one of your curlicues right here. Kind of make a bouquet. So how would you want this sitting on the pumpkin? More or less like this, right? So try to bring them like that. So there's all the strings, and bring them inside the hole and pull them in. Okay, all right. So this is where we have to now bring it, look at the other side, the wrong side. So they need to be in for about just a little bit, just the tip needs to be showing on the other side. See that? And again, try to arrange the curlicues and the stem in a way that the stem is in the middle and the curlicues are kind of like a triangle dot, kind of like around, so that the curlicues are around the stem. Okay, see that? There we go. All right, beautiful. So right there, I kind of carefully turn it around. Now bring this through the other side, and then let's turn it towards the wrong side again. All right. And again, my stem seems to want to escape all the time, so pull it in. There we go. So you need a good amount of the tip peeking towards the inside all the times. Okay. All right, there is my string. So pull it really tight. Oops. And then hold it tight and fasten a knot anywhere in the brown. I'm sorry, this came along. So right there, make sure you fasten it up. Okay, so it doesn't open anymore. Now what I do, I'm in the inside, so I'm really not very tidy here. I kind of just bring my yarn over whatever, because nobody's going to see this. So I just kind of go between green and stem and the other green curlicue and just pull through. I grab a little bit from the other side and go through again, all over the place. So actually, you know what? These guys here, you can cut them short. Shut up. There we go. Less fuzz to deal with. There. Just keep tying them up in as best as we can. Through the stem, through the curlicues, until you think that it looks like, yeah, I think this is gonna stay in place. I think I got it. Or until you have no more yarn. So that's why you need to have enough yarn when we cut off the string. And there we go. Haha. Perfect. And if you pull on it, it's not gonna come out, because that's the whole idea, so that the curlicue and the stem stay put in place. So the next thing you will need here is the fiber fill. I have a whole bag of fiber fill, and I grab a big bunch and stick it in there. Not too much, because if you make it too full, it will look too round, and then your pumpkin looks more like an orange. I think this is about enough. Just enough to fill it. So that was what, a handful like that? All right. Good. Now with this end, we're gonna do exactly the same as we did with the other part. We're just gonna pull it tight. There we go. So all around the top of your stitches here, you go in and out, in and out. And remember, if your string is a little short, go ahead and pull it and it will become a little longer while it's gonna shrivel up the opening, right? Just as I showed you on the brown. Right? Good. All right, there we go. That's the end. And this is the magic moment where we pull the string. There we go. Pull. Make sure all the fiber fill is tucked in. There. Pull tight. There we go. Squish it. And if there is a little bit of a bigger hole there, I don't really mind because it kind of helps the pumpkin to just look a little flatter. And it sits a little better. I'm sorry, you're looking from the top here, but this is what I mean. It just looks, because if you pull too tight, it will be very round. If you leave a little bit of an opening here, yeah, that is better. The only thing is like that the fiber fill will show through. So if you're giving this for kids to play, I would definitely make sure you tighten it up fully. But if it's just like a decoration and nobody's gonna play around with it, I don't mind to leave a little bit of an opening right there. All right, and then I find a sweet spot here to just tie a knot. And there we go, your pumpkin is done. And then I simply bring the yarn into the pumpkin and let it get lost. Right there, snip it off. Ta-da, there is your pumpkin. Good job. And it's the size of your hand. It's a super fast project, fun to do, and you only use single crochet and double crochet and the foundation chain. Isn't that neat?